Magnetic effects of electric current. Introduction. Do you know? Heavy iron car gets attached to a big disc. The disc is a magnet and the car is attracted to it. This process is used in loading and transporting. It is not feasible to create the permanent magnet of such a big size and store such a big magnet. Therefore, magnetism is induced in the disk with the help of electricity. Such a magnet is called an electromagnet. We have seen a transformer on a road, electric doorbell, speaker, electric water pump, generator, radio, television antenna. These things work on electromagnetism. Activity. Place a white paper on a drawing board and place a bar magnet in the middle of the paper. Sprinkle some iron filling on it. Tap the board gently. What do you see? The iron fillings are arranged around the magnet in definite curved lines, forming a symmetric pattern. They get close to each other near the poles. The lines are less crowded in the middle region of the magnet. These lines are called magnetic field lines or magnetic lines of force. Activity. Take a drawing board and fix a white sheet of paper on it. Place a bar magnet at the center and draw its outline. Place the magnetic needle close to any pole. Wait till the needle comes to rest. Draw the dots with pencil as shown in the figure. Go on marking till the needle comes to other end or pole. Draw a smooth curve using dots. Repeat the process to plot other smooth curves. The path along which the unit north pole moves in a magnetic field is called magnetic lines of force or magnetic field lines. Properties of magnetic lines of force. Magnetic lines of force are closed continuous curves. They start from north pole and end on south pole. The tangent at any point on the magnetic lines of force gives the direction of the magnetic field at that point. No two magnetic lines of force can intersect each other. Magnetic lines of force are crowded where the magnetic field is strong and far from each other where the field is weak. Make a circuit by connecting the two terminals of the electric cell to the keys as shown in the figure. Place the compass needle close to it. Note the direction in which compass needle is pointing. While watching the compass needle carefully, close the key for few seconds. Release the key and watch again. Repeat the steps again by changing its polarity. In the above activity, it is observed that the needle gets deflected when we press the key. If the polarity is reversed, the needle gets deflected in the opposite direction. Thus, if current is passed through a wire, electric field is produced near it. This was discovered by the scientist Oersted. Make a circuit by connecting the two terminals of the electric cell to the keys as shown in the figure. Place the compass needle close to it. Note the direction in which compass needle is pointing. While watching the compass needle carefully, close the key for few seconds. Release the key and watch again. Repeat the steps again by changing its polarity. In the above activity, it is observed that the needle gets deflected when we press the key. If the polarity is reversed, the needle gets deflected in the opposite direction. Thus, if current is passed through a wire, electric field is produced near it. This was discovered by the scientist Oersted. He showed that electricity and magnetism are related phenomena. Initially, that is before closing the key, the compass needle points in the north-south direction. Hans Oersted. Danish physicist Professor Hans Christian Oersted was doing experiments with some electrical equipment. He saw that when he passed strong electric current through a wire, a nearby compass needle got deflected. Oersted realized that the electric current was producing magnetism. Compass needle. A compass needle is a small bar magnet. The ends of the compass needle points approximately towards north and south directions. The end that points towards north is called as North Pole or north-seeking pole. The end that points towards south is called as south pole or south-seeking pole. Like magnetic poles repel each other and unlike poles attract each other. Activity. Take a battery, a variable resistance, an ammeter, a plug key, needle, and a long straight thick copper wire. Take a rectangular cardboard. Pass this wire through the center. Take care that the cardboard is fixed and does not slide up or down. Arrange all these equipments as shown in the figure. Sprinkle iron fillings uniformly on the cardboard. Close the key and tap the cardboard gently. Observe the pattern of iron fillings. What will happen if the current is increased? Also observe the needle if it is moved away from the wire. The iron fillings are set in a series of concentric circles about the wire as the center. The fillings are crowded more near the wire than away from it. Magnetic field due to current carrying conductor. If we increase the current through the wire, the needle will deflect more, and if we move the compass away from the wire, the deflection in the needle will start decreasing. Thus, magnitude of the field produced at a given point is directly proportional to the magnitude of the current passing in the wire. Magnetic field produced by a given current in the wire decreases as the distance from the wire increases. Right-hand thumb rule. Imagine that you are holding a current carrying straight conductor in your right hand such that the thumb points towards the direction of current. Then the curled fingers around the conductor will give the direction of the magnetic field. This is known as the right-hand thumb rule. Activity: take a rectangular cardboard with 2 holes. Take a coil of large number of turns. Insert the coil through the holes such that the turns are normal to the plane of the cardboard. Connect 2 ends of the coil in series with a battery, a key and a rheostat as shown in figure. Sprinkle iron fillings uniformly on the cardboard. Plug the key, tap the cardboard gently. Note your observations. Observations: the iron fillings are set in 2 groups, each group consisting of a series of concentric circles about the wire as the center. The fillings are crowded more near the wire than away from it. The ends A and B behave like opposite poles of a magnet, as the relative directions of the current are opposite in this case. In figure, we see that every loop form of concentric circles. These circles would become large as we move away from the wire. At the center of the loop, the area of these circles would appear as straight line. That is, if the current passing through a wire is less, the magnetic field is small. If the current passing through a wire is large, the magnetic field is large. Thus, if a coil has n turns, the field produced is n times larger than that produced by the single turn. This is because the current in each circular turn has the same direction, and the field due to each turn then just adds up. Wind the insulated wire tightly around the nail in the form of coil. Connect the free ends of the wire to the 2 terminals of the cell for few seconds. Bring small iron pins near the tip of the nail and observe. Disconnect the wire ends and observe. Repeat the above steps again. What do you conclude? When the circuit is completed, the iron pins are attracted by the nail and hence they stick to the nail. When the circuit is broken, the iron pins are no more attracted by the nail and hence get separated from the nail. This happens every time the circuit is completed or broken. When the circuit is completed, current passes through the wire wound around the nail. Magnetic field due to current in a solenoid. A coil of many turns or insulated copper wire wrapped in the shape of cylinder is called a solenoid. The magnetic field line in a solenoid through which current is passed are shown in figure. These lines are similar to that of the lines of a bar magnet as shown in figure B. One end of the coil acts as south pole and the other end as north pole. The solenoid has all the properties of the field produced by a bar magnet. With the help of a solenoid, we can magnetize a piece of rod of a given material. If the rod is hard steel and if the magnetic field is strong enough, a permanent magnet can be produced. Permanent magnets are usually made of carbon steel, chromium steel, cobalt and tungsten steel and some alloys. Two such alloys which are used in industry are Nipper-Mag and Alnico. Nipper-Mag is an alloy of iron, nickel, aluminium and titanium. Alnico is aluminium nickel cobalt alloy. Permanent magnets of such alloys are used in microphones, loudspeakers, electric clocks and many other devices like ammeters, voltmeters and speedometers. Take a small aluminium rod AB, suspended horizontally by means of two connecting wires from a stand as shown in figure. Now place a strong horseshoe magnet in such a way that the rod is between the two poles with the field directed upwards. If a current is passed through the rod from B to A, we observe that the rod gets displaced. This displacement is caused by the force acting on the current carrying rod. The magnet exerts a force on the rod directed towards the right, with the result that the rod gets deflected to the right. On reversing the current or interchanging the poles of the magnet, the direction of the rod will reverse. The above activity indicates that there is a relationship between the direction of the current, the field, and the motion of the conductor. Force on a current-carrying conductor in a magnetic field. Electric current flowing through a conductor produces a magnetic field. The field so produced exerts a force on a magnet placed in the vicinity of the conductor. French scientist Henri-Marie Ampère suggested that the magnet must also exert an equal and opposite force on the current-carrying conductor. In the above activity, it is seen that the aluminium rod is displaced, which suggests that force is exerted on the rod carrying the current when placed in a magnetic field. The direction of the force depends on the direction of the current and the direction of magnetic field. The displacement of the rod is maximum when the direction of the current is at right angles to the direction of magnetic field. Fleming's left-hand rule. Stretch the forefinger, the central finger and the thumb of your left hand mutually perpendicular to each other. If the forefinger shows the direction of the field and the central finger shows the direction of the current, then the thumb will point towards the direction of the motion of the conductor. Current is a flow of charge. This means that moving charges in a magnetic field would experience a force. This property is used to accelerate charged particles to very high energies. These high energies of the particles are used to study the structure of matter. Use of magnetism in medical science. Even if the current is very weak, electric current produces magnetic field. Ion current, which travels along the nerve cell in a body, produces magnetic field. If we touch something, our nerves carry an electrical impulse to the muscle we need to use. This produces weak magnetic field. Heart and brain are the two main organs where significant magnetic fields can be produced. This forms the basis of obtaining images of heart and brain, or images of different parts of the body. This is done using a technique called magnetic resonance imaging. Analysis of these images helps doctor to diagnose disorder of the brain. Activity: take 3 ring-shaped magnets, insulated copper wire, battery and paper clips. Cut the wire into 3 pieces. One piece should be about 1 meter long and the other 2 pieces of 0.25 meter length. Take 1 meter piece of wire and wrap this wire around 2 fingers to form a coil. Take the loose end of this wire and wrap it once along the diameter of the coil. The 2 arms of the coil should be directly opposite to each other. Bend the paper clip and prepare a holder for the coil. Pile the 3 magnets on the table. Place the coil above the magnet on the paper clip holder. Take free ends of the wire and connect them to the battery as shown in figure. Give a gentle spin to the coil. What do you observe? Observation: the coil continues to rotate for some time even after the flow of current is stopped. As long as the electric cell provides the energy needed as the kinetic energy for rotational motion of the coil and the energy dissipated in overcoming friction due to air. Electric motor: a device which converts electrical energy into mechanical energy is called an electric motor. Principle: electric motor works on the principle that a current-carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field experiences a force. Construction: armature coil: a large number of turns of insulated copper wire wound on iron core in rectangular shape forms an armature coil A, B, C, D as shown in the figure. Strong magnet: the armature coil is placed in between 2 pole pieces of a strong magnet. This provides strong magnetic field. Split ring commutator: it consists of 2 halves of a metallic ring. The ends of the armature coil are connected to these rings. Commutator reverses the direction of current in the armature coil. Brushes: 2 carbon brushes B1 and B2 are used to press the commutator. Battery: the battery supplies the current to the armature coil. Working of the electric motor. When current is passed through the coil A, B, C, D, arms AB and CD experience force. According to Fleming's left-hand rule, the force experienced by arm AB is in the downward direction and arm CD in the upward direction. Both these forces are equal and opposite. This force rotates the coil in clockwise direction until between commutator and brushes break. So the supply to the coil is cut off. Thus no force acts on the coil. But the coil does not stop due to inertia. It goes on rotating until the commutator again comes in contact with the brushes B1 and B2. Again the current starts passing through coil and the arm AB rotates through 90 degree, 180 degree, 270 degree and 360 degree. Now the force acting on arm AB is downward and CD is upward. Again this force moves the coil in clockwise direction. Thus, the coil rotates with the help of electrical energy. The coil of DC motor continues to rotate in the same direction. Uses of DC motor. These motors are used in domestic appliances like mixers, blenders, refrigerators, and washing machines. These motors are used in electric fans, hair dryers, record players, tape recorders, and blowers. These motors are used in electric cars, rolling mills, electric cranes, electric lifts, and electric trains. Maglev train. Magnetic levitation train do not run on rails but float above them. A current passes through the electromagnets in the track on the train. The magnetism produced lifts the train upward. Activity. Take a coil AB having 10 to 15 turns. Connect the two ends of the coil to the galvanometer as shown in figure. Take a strong bar magnet. Move the north pole of the magnet towards end B of the coil. Observe the deflection in the galvanometer. Note the direction of the deflection. Now repeat this with the south pole. Again observe the deflection. Note its direction. What will happen if instead of magnet, a coil is moved? If both coil and magnet are kept stationary, do you observe any deflection? Observations. The two deflections are in the opposite direction. If instead of the magnet, the coil is moved towards the magnet, the deflection of the galvanometer is observed in one direction, while if the coil is moved away from the magnet, the deflection is observed in the opposite direction. Activity. Take two coils of about 50 turns. Insert them over a non-conducting cylindrical roll, as shown in figure. Thick paper roll can be used. Connect coil 1 to a battery with a plug key. Connect coil 2 to a galvanometer. Plug the key and observe the deflection in the galvanometer. Unplug the key and again observe the deflection. Observations. As the key is plugged, current passes through the coil. The galvanometer shows deflection for very short time. As the current in coil 1 becomes steady, the galvanometer shows zero deflection. That is, its pointer turns to the zero mark at the center of the scale. When the key is unplugged, the current stops flowing. Hence, there is potential difference for a very short time. Hence, the galvanometer shows deflection for very short time in the opposite direction as related to the part 1 of the experiment, and the pointer returns to 0. Electromagnetic induction. When a current-carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field such that the direction of current is perpendicular to the magnetic field, it experiences a force. If a conductor is moving inside a magnetic field or magnetic field is changing around a fixed conductor, electric current is generated. This was first studied by Michael Faraday. If we move south pole of the magnet towards end B of the coil, the deflection would be opposite to the previous case. If both coil and magnet are stationary, there is no deflection in the galvanometer. Thus, the motion of a magnet with respect to the coil, or if coil is moved with respect to the magnet, Potential difference is induced which set up an induced electric current in the circuit. If the current in the coil reaches either steady value or zero, the galvanometer connected to coil 2 show no deflection. Thus, potential difference is induced in the coil 2 whenever the electric current through coil 1 is hanging. Coil 1 is a primary coil and coil 2 is a secondary coil. As the current in the first coil changes, the magnetic field associated with it also changes. The process by which a changing magnetic field in a conductor induces a current in another conductor is called electromagnetic induction. Fleming's right-hand rule. Stretch the thumb, forefinger and middle finger to the right hand so that they are perpendicular to each other as shown in figure. If the forefinger indicates the direction of the magnetic field and the thumb shows the direction of the motion of conductor, the middle finger will show the direction to induced current. The induced current is found to be the maximum when the direction of motion of the coil is at right angles to the magnetic field. Galvanometer. A galvanometer is an instrument which is used to detect the presence of current in a circuit. If the current in a circuit is zero, the galvanometer will show zero deflection or no deflection. The deflection is either side of the zero mark depending on the direction of the current. Michael Faraday in 1821 found that electricity could produce rotatory motions. Today's electric motors are based on this principle. In 1831, he showed that relative movement between a magnet and a coil of wire could induce electricity in the coil, an idea which gave birth to modern generators. Question. Observe the figure. If the current in the coil A is changed, will some current be induced in the coil B? Explain. If the current in the coil A is changed, there will be some current induced in the coil B. Explanation. When the current in the coil A is changed, the magnetic field associated with the current changes. This induces potential difference in the coil B. This gives rise to a current in the coil B. The greater the rate at which the current in the coil A is changed with respect to time, the greater is the current induced in the coil B, as can be seen from the deflection of the galvanometer. Direct and alternating current. There are two types of current, one direct current and two alternating current. Direct current always flows in one direction and alternating current reverses its direction periodically. Most of the power stations produce alternating current. In India, the frequency of AC is about 50 Hz. An important advantage of AC over DC is that electric power can be transmitted over long distances without much loss of energy. Direct current. The magnitude and direction of current is constant. Alternating current, the magnitude and direction of the current reverses periodically. Direct current. This type of current cannot be used on large scale for household purposes. Alternating current. This type of current is used in electrical household appliances such as electric heater, iron, refrigerator, etc. Direct current. The frequency of direct current is 0. The frequency of alternating current in India is about 50 Hz. Activity. Compare the figures figure A and figure B. with respect to the component used. State the similarities and dissimilarities between the figures. Similarities in the construction of an electric motor and an electric AC generator. The armature coil, strong magnet, and carbon brushes are the same in both the equipments. Dissimilarities in the construction of an electric motor and an electric AC generator. A battery is used in an electric motor but not in an electric AC generator. A split ring commutator is used in an electric motor while rings are used in an electric AC generator. Activity. Compare the figure A and figure B with respect to the components used. State the similarities and dissimilarities between the figures. Similarities in the construction of an electric motor and an electric DC generator. The armature coil, strong magnet, split ring commutator, and carbon brushes are the same in the two classes. Dissimilarities in the construction of an electric motor and an electric DC generator. A battery is used in an electric motor but not in an electric DC generator. A bulb is used in an electric DC generator but not in an electric motor. Activity. Compare the figures showing the construction of an electric AC generator and an electric DC generator with respect to the components used. Electric AC generator and electric DC generator. The components like the armature coil, strong magnet, and carbon brushes are the same in both the machines. In an AC generator, rings are used, while in a DC generator, a split ring commutator is used. A galvanometer is shown in figure electric AC generator, while a bulb is shown in figure electric DC generator. Electric generator. An electric device which converts mechanical energy into electric energy is called an electric generator. Principle. Electric generator works on the principle of electromagnetic induction. When the coil of electric generator rotates in a magnetic field, the magnetic field induces a current in this coil. This induced current then flow into the circuit connected to the coil. Types of electric generators: AC generator, DC generator. A generator which converts mechanical energy into electric energy in the form of alternating current or AC is called AC generator. Direct current or DC is called DC generator. Electric AC generator. Construction of AC generator. The main component of AC generator are armature, strong magnets, split rings, and brushes. Armature, strong magnets, and brushes are the same as used for electric motor. Split rings. The two ends of the armature coil are connected to two brass split rings, R1 and R2. These rings rotate along with the armature coil. DC generator or dynamo. Construction. The main component of DC generator are armature coil, strong magnets, split rings or commutator, brushes, bulb. The components such as armature coil, strong magnet, brushes are the same which are used for AC generators. Split ring or commutator is the same as used in electric motor. Bulb. The output is shown by the glowing bulb connected across the carbon brushes. Working of DC generator. There are two strong magnets between them. The DC generator coil rotates. Thus the magnetic field is continuously cut by the rotating coil. Thus the potential difference is produced in the coil. This gives rise to the flow of current. This is shown by glowing of the bulb in figure. In DC generator, the flow of current in the circuit is in the same direction as long as the coil rotates in the magnetic field. This is because one brush is always in contact with the arm of the armature moving up and other brush is in contact with the arm of the armature moving downward in the magnetic field. Activity: a three-dimensional view of electric supply from electric meter of a living room in the house is shown in figure. Then the explanatory sketch is shown to know the live current wire, neutral and the earth wire connection in the circuit. Domestic electric circuit. The State Electricity Board provides the electric power supply for houses and factories. Electric power is supplied through underground cables or overhead wires on poles. Electric wires or cables for supply of electricity has three wires, viz. Phase wire, neutral and earth wire. Electric wires coming from power substation are connected to an electric meter installed in a house or a factory. The potential difference between the live wire and neutral wire is 220 volt to 250 volt. The output power from electric meter is taken to the main switch. A main fuse is installed in the path circuit of live or phase wire. The output electric power from the main switch is distributed to the domestic electric circuit. Figure shows a schematic diagram of one of the common domestic circuits. In each circuit, different appliances can be connected across the live and neutral wires. Each appliance has equal potential differences. They are connected parallel to each other. Safety measures in using electricity. Electric fuse. An electric fuse is a safety device used to save the wiring and the electrical appliances from less or high voltage. Wires carrying electricity should not be touched barefooted. If we touch the wire barefooted, current will pass through our body. So we will receive severe shock. This shock may sometimes cause death. Therefore, while working with electricity, we must wear gloves made of insulated material and rubber-soled shoes so that current will not flow through our body. The insulation of the wire must be checked periodically. The insulation is the rubber or plastic or PVC coating over the bare copper or aluminium wires. Earthing. Many electrical appliances have a metallic body such as electric geyser, toaster, oven, refrigerators, etc. If by chance insulation of the wire melts, the live wire may touch the metallic body of the appliance. If we touch this body with bare hands, we will receive a severe shock. To avoid such accidents, metal casings of all electrical appliances must be earthed. One end of a copper wire is connected to the metal case of the appliance, and the other end is connected to the earthing wire of the 3-pin plug. This pin of the plug is connected by the wire to the copper plate, which is buried deep inside the earth. The system of connecting the metal casing of an electrical appliance with a copper plate buried deep inside the earth is called as earthing. Electric circuit should be switched off during lighting. This will save the electrical appliances from burning. Short circuiting. If a live wire and a neutral wire come in direct contact or touch each other, short circuiting takes place. During a short circuit, the resistance of the circuit becomes very small and hence huge amount of current flows through it. This produces a large amount of heat and raises the temperature. As a result, the circuit catches fire. Overloading. Overloading means the flow of large amount of current in the circuit beyond the permissible value of current. If many high power consuming electrical appliances such as geyser, heater, motor, oven are switched on simultaneously, overloading occurs. This depends upon the size of wire with respect to thickness used for the circuit. If the wire is of not appropriate thickness, then overloading causes fire. This can be avoided by not connecting many appliances at a time in the circuit or using wire of appropriate thickness. Concept map. Students, kindly refer to the concept map given below. Chapter 3, Magnetic Effects of Electric Current. Activity 13.1. Take a straight thick copper wire and place it between the points X and Y in the electric circuit. Place a small compass near to this copper wire. See the position of its needle. Pass the current through the circuit by inserting the key into the plug. Observe the change in the position of the compass needle. Activity 13.2. Fix a sheet of white paper on a drawing board using some adhesive material. Place a bar magnet in the center of it. Sprinkle some iron fillings uniformly around the bar magnet. A salt sprinkler may be used for this purpose. Now tap the board gently. What do you observe? We observe that the iron fillings get arranged in a specific pattern. The magnet exerts its influence in the region surrounding it. Therefore, the iron fillings experience a force. This force arranges iron fillings in a specific pattern. The region surrounding a magnet in which the force of the magnet can be detected is said to have a magnetic field. The lines along which the iron filling align themselves represent magnetic field lines. Activity 13.3. Take a small compass and a bar magnet. Place the magnet on a sheet of white paper fixed on a drawing board using some adhesive material. Mark the boundary of the magnet. Place the compass near the north pole of the magnet. How does it behave? The south pole of the needle points towards the north pole of the magnet. The north pole of the compass is directed away from the north pole of the magnet. Mark the position of two ends of the needle. Now move the needle to a new position such that its south pole occupies the position previously occupied by its north pole. In this way, proceed step by step till you reach the south pole of the magnet as shown in figure. Join the points marked on the paper by a smooth curve. This curve represents a field line. Repeat the above procedure and draw as many lines as you can. This will get a pattern shown in figure. These lines represent the magnetic field around the magnet. These are known as magnetic field lines. Observe the deflection in the compass needle as you move it along a field line. The deflection increases as the needle is moved towards the poles. Activity 13.4. Take a long straight copper wire, 2 or 3 cells of 1.5 volt each, and a plug key. Connect all of them in series as shown in figure A. Place the straight wire parallel to and over a compass needle. Plug the key in the circuit. Observe the direction of deflection of the north pole of the needle. If the current flows from north to south, the north pole of the compass needle moves towards east. Replace the cell connection in the circuit. This results in change of the direction of current through copper wire from south to north. Observe the change in the direction of deflection of the needle. We see that the needle moves in opposite direction, that is towards the west. It means that the direction of magnetic field produced by electric current is also reversed. Activity 13.5. Take a battery 12 volt, a variable resistance, an ammeter, a plug key and a long straight thick copper wire. Insert the thick wire through center normal to the plane of a rectangular cardboard. Take care that the cardboard is fixed and does not slide up or down. Connect the copper wire vertically between the points X and Y in series with the battery, a plug and key. Sprinkle some iron fillings uniformly on the cardboard. Keep the variable of the rheostat at a fixed position and note the current through the ammeter. Close the key so that current flows through the wire. Ensure that copper wire placed between the points X and Y remains vertically straight. Gently tap the cardboard a few times. Observe the pattern of the iron fillings. We find that the iron fillings align themselves in a pattern of concentric circles around the copper wire. What do these concentric circles represent? They represent the magnetic field lines. How can the direction of the magnetic field be found? Place a compass at a point over a circle. Observe the direction of the needle. The direction of the north pole of the compass needle gives the direction of the field lines produced by the electric current through the straight wire at the set point. Show the direction by an arrow. Does the direction of magnetic field lines get reversed if the direction of current through the straight copper wire is reversed? Yes, the magnetic field lines get reversed if the direction of current through the straight copper wire is reversed. Activity 13.6. Take a rectangular cardboard having 2 holes. Insert a circular coil having large number of turns through them, normal to the plane of the cardboard. Connect the ends of the coil in series with a battery, a key and a rheostat. Sprinkle iron fillings uniformly on the cardboard. Plug the key. Tap the cardboard gently a few times. Note the pattern of the iron fillings that emerges on the cardboard. Activity 13.7. Take a small aluminium rod AB. Using 2 connecting wires suspended it horizontally from a stand. Place a strong horseshoe magnet in such a way that the rod lies between the 2 poles with the magnetic field directed upwards. For this, keep the north pole of the magnet vertically below and south pole vertically above the aluminium rod. Connect the aluminium rod in series with a battery, a key and a rheostat. Now pass a current through the aluminium rod from end B to end A. What do you observe? It is observed that the rod is displaced towards the left. We notice that the rod gets displaced. Reverse the direction of current flowing through the rod and observe the direction of its displacement. It is now towards the right. Why does the rod get displaced? The displacement of the rod because a force is exerted on the current carrying aluminium rod when it is placed in a magnetic field. The direction of the force on the conductor depends upon the direction of current and the direction of the magnetic field. Activity 13.8. Take a coil of wire AB having a large number of turns. Connect the end of the coil to a galvanometer. Take a strong bar magnet and move its north pole towards the end B of the coil. Do you find any change in the galvanometer needle? There is a momentary deflection in the needle of the galvanometer, say to the right. This indicates the presence of a current in the coil AB. The deflection becomes zero as the motion of the magnet stops. Now withdraw the north pole of the magnet away from the coil. Now the galvanometer deflects towards left, showing that the current is now set up in the direction opposite to the first. Place the magnet stationary at a point near the coil, keeping its north pole towards the end B of the coil. We see that the galvanometer needle deflects towards the right when the coil is moved towards the north pole of the magnet. Similarly, the needle moves towards the left when the coil is moved away. When the coil is kept stationary with respect to the magnet, the deflection of the galvanometer drops to zero. What do you conclude from this activity? From this activity, it is clear that motion of a magnet with respect to the coil produces an induced potential difference, which sets up an induced electric current in the circuit. Activity 13.9. Take two different coils of copper wire having large number of turns. Insert them over a non-conducting cylindrical roll. We can use a thick paper roll for this purpose. Connect coil 1, having larger number of turns, in series with a battery and a plug key. They also connect the other coil 2 with a galvanometer as shown. Plug in the key, observe the galvanometer. Is there a deflection in its needle? We observe that the needle of the galvanometer instantly jumps to one side and just as quickly returns to zero, indicating a momentary current in coil 2. Disconnect coil 1 from the battery. We observe that the needle momentarily moves but to the opposite side. It means that now the current flows in the opposite direction in coil 2.
Magnetic effects of electric current. Question 1. A. Fill in the blanks. Number 1. The device used for producing current is known as a generator. Number 2. At the time of short circuit, the current in the circuit increases. Number 3. The direction of magnetic field around a straight conductor carrying current is given by the right hand rule.
Question number 1. B. True or false? 1. Magnetic poles exist in pairs. True. 2. Magnetic field increases as while go away from a magnet. False. Reason. Magnetic field decreases as we go away from a magnet. 3. Magnetic lines of force always cross each other. False. Reason. Magnetic lines of force never cross each other. 4. Electric generator is used to generate current. True. Question number 1. C. Find the odd one out. 1. Loudspeaker, microphone, electric motor, bar magnet. Answer. Bar magnet. 2. Armature coil, brushes, commutator, direct current. Answer. Direct current. 3. Fuse, insulating material, rubber shoes, generator. Answer. Generator. 4. Voltmeter, ammeter, galvanometer, thermometer. Answer. Thermometer. Question number 2. Define. 1. Magnetic field. Answer. A field of force which exists in the space around a magnet or a current carrying conductor is known as magnetic field. Number 2. Solenoid. Answer. A coil of many turns of insulated copper wire wrapped in the shape of cylinder is known as solenoid. Number 3. Electric motor. Answer. A device which converts electrical energy into mechanical energy is known as electric motor. Question number 3. State the rules. 1. Explain Fleming's right-hand rule. Answer. Stretch first the thumb, forefinger and middle finger of the right hand so that they are perpendicular to each other. If the forefinger indicates the direction of magnetic field and the thumb shows the direction of motion of the conductor, the middle finger will show the direction of an induced current. Number 2. Explain the right hand thumb rule. Answer. Let us imagine that you have hold a current carrying straight conductor in your right hand such that the thumb points towards the direction of the current. Then the curled finger around the conductor will give the direction of the magnetic field produced by the current. Question number 4. Distinguish between 1. Distinguish between electric motor and electric generator. Electric motor 1. A battery is used in an electric motor in order to pass a current through the armature coil. Electric generator 1. A battery is not used in an electric generator. Number 2. In it, a current carrying coil is set in rotation due to the magnetic field. Electric generator. In it, a potential difference and therefore a current is produced when the coil is set into rotation in the magnetic field. 3. A split ring commutator is used in an electric motor. Rings are used in an electric AC generator. Question number 5. 1. Give the characteristics of magnetic lines of force, or write the properties of magnetic lines of force or magnetic field lines. Answer. Characteristics of magnetic lines of force. 1. Magnetic lines of force are nothing but closed continuous curves. They start from the North Pole and end on the South Pole. 2. The tangent at any point on a magnetic line of force tells the direction of the magnetic field at that point. 3. Two magnetic lines of force cannot intersect each other. 4. Magnetic lines of force have been crowded where the magnetic field is strong, but they are far away from each other where the field is weak.